Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. And for those of you who are listening to it after this morning, welcome to Swahili Sunday. Happy to have you all here, and wanted to talk about a few things in a little bit. We're going to bring Leila on when she joins and get an update on the ladies in Kenya and what we've been doing there. I want to talk a little bit about, you may have seen in the title, the term volunteering and the white savior complex, and how empowerment seems to have become a negative term and things of that nature. On Monday, I'm releasing a series of blog posts having to do with what voluntourism is in the negative context about the white savior complex. And then I'm also going to be doing some research and adding some things because I've recently heard how saying that I'm empowering people in Kenya is now a bad term, and saying I'm partnering with them is now a bad term, and things like that. You know, that's just one person or some people's perception. I still have to do some research on that because I just heard about that. But I'll just address what I have been talking about with what's going to be coming out in the blog post on Monday. Tea Time Tuesday, we'll probably do some interviews with people regarding some of these topics, because they're terms that I'd never heard before I went to Kenya. And for those of you who don't know, I went to Kenya on a mission trip simply because I felt God's calling in my heart telling me I needed to go there. I've had people ask me, oh, why aren't you doing things here in the US? Why aren't you helping people here? Why are you going there? My faith tells me that God is going to tell me where he wants me to go serve. I don't get to choose. Trust me, I could choose a place a lot closer than Kenya. Kenya takes 24 hours just to get to the country, and if I drive, it takes another 8 hours to get to Kitale, where I'm serving. So if I had a choice, obviously I could do something here in California, which I do things with veterans groups, and I help women, and I do free speaking and coaching and things like that. But I'm not promoting products with that, so I don't talk a lot about that. So I do serve people here. I served 23 years in the military, so people have the freedom to say what they want about things. But my calling is in Kenya. And when I went there, I simply went there on a mission trip with a group called Reaching Beyond Ourselves, a retired pastor from my church, who's been going there for 20 years serving the suffering, displaced people in Kenya, because that was his calling. So I felt it was my calling to go to Kenya. I went there. That's what I did. I met these wonderful women in a place called the Kipsongo Slum. And I've had people say that, oh, slum's a bad word. We don't want to use that. And I'll address that in a second about terms and terminology. Well, I'll address that now. I mean, it is called the Kipsongo Slum. It's where they live. It is a slum. And people don't want to hear in the US, don't want to hear that term because it makes them feel bad. Changing the terminology is not going to change what it is. It's still a slum. It's where they live. It's what they call it. I'm going to call it a slum. It's not a village to make it sound, I guess you could call it a village as well, but changing the terminology is not going to change the reality of what it is. And people in America are getting too offended with terms, and we're forced to change our terminology just because a few people are uncomfortable with it. Not changing the term that way, but I met these wonderful women in the Kipsongo slum there. I was just inspired by them. I was inspired by their confidence and their joy. And I've been through a lot in my life, for not near what they've been through in the situations that they're in, but in my life, having alcoholic parents, being abused, being raped and assaulted, being beaten up and nearly choked to death, and having a whole lifetime of things like that happen to me. It's just kind of one of those things. I'm just kind of like going along in life and just dealing with those things, and picking myself up, empowering myself, and moving forward. And these women just really inspired me. I just fell in love with them from the beginning. Their tenacity, their joy, they taught me something about what it means to really be happy and really have faith in God. So they have changed my life. And I figured that I was a speaker, and I was speaking, and thought that maybe I could help them in some way. So I bought some beads and brought half a suitcase of beads back, thinking, oh, I'll just sell some beads with my book when I speak. I never intended for it to become an enterprise, but God had different ideas about that. So I was I'm pretty excited that I get to do this, and I'm happy to share their wonderful handcrafted, beautiful goods in my 3 locations now, and also online. So if you're local to Southern California, visit Fairtrade Long Beach in Long Beach on Bellflower and Carson, 4105 North Bellflower. Visit Open Market OC in the old Laguna Hills Mall, 2nd floor of the old Macy's. My booth is in there with over 200 other vendors. Or visit the new space I'm in Carlsbad called Adore. Or if you're not local, visit online, basketsandbeadskenya.com. You can visit us anywhere. So when I first went to Kenya, I was, like I said, I was doing full-time speaking and I wasn't earning a lot. So I didn't have a lot of money to go to Kenya. So I started raising funds. I did a fundraiser, and that's a whole nother story, but I raised the funds to go. And as I was raising the funds, somebody contacted me and said, wouldn't you rather do something more meaningful than going on a voluntour? And I'm like, voluntour? What is that? I'd never heard that term before. So I looked it up, and voluntouring is something where people from maybe America or some other more developed country. Oh, that's another thing. We're not supposed to say third world country. We're supposed to say developing country. You know, you have to be careful with your terminology so people don't get offended, which is, you know, where does that end? Like I was talking with the person who told me that using the word slum is no longer, you know, the in thing to say. We need to call it a village. And I'm like, okay, where does it end? Because she used the term third world country. I'm like, okay, that could be offensive too. Where does it end? Like, it's a slum. Slum is a slum. And I'm not changing the terminology just to make somebody else here in the US feel better. Anyway, I looked up the term voluntour. I'm like, what is voluntour? What does that mean? And what it basically is a person from a more developed country that goes to a developing country and helps people there. Well, where it turns bad is when people volunteer to just bring attention to themselves as the hero. Like, they go and they don't really do anything. They don't do much to make a difference, and they take a bunch of pictures and post them and say, look at me. And there's a fine line between that. We went to serve, we took supplies, we gave encouragement, empowerment, if you will, which is supposed to now be a bad word according to some people. So we did that. We served a lot of different groups, taking them supplies and giving them encouraging words, working with them, doing different things. I don't know, maybe it was a volunteer, but it wasn't a bad thing that we were doing. We were helping kids on the street, giving them food and blankets that they didn't otherwise have, because there's no government help there in Kenya. Well, then I recently saw somebody very close to me posted an article about voluntourism and the white savior complex being tied to colonialism. And if you know anything about Kenya history, the British Empire colonized Kenya in the 1800s until about 1963. And so the British ruled, and in 1963, Kenya became its own country. Well, during that time, obviously, it was like the white supremacy, white rule in an African country. So this article that this person shared had something to do with, so let me explain what the white savior complex is. It's again tied to voluntourism in the negative context, where but it's an exploitive thing. It's where somebody goes into a country, like a white person like me goes into a country in Africa or some other country, with maybe, you know, India or Pakistan or Afghanistan or wherever, or Mexico or anywhere that somebody goes, and goes there to be the savior, the hero. And again, it's like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. Let me take some pictures and let me post, but also doing things in exploitive nature, exploiting children, exploiting, you know, men and women for their own personal gain. And there's a lot of that going on. And I can assure you that that's not what I'm doing. Because frankly, honestly, I'm not making any money off of what I'm doing. I'm actually working hard to, I actually took a job. So let me back this up. My speaking business, when I started getting involved in Kenya and started really knowing that this was my mission, that this was something that I needed to do, that God wanted me to do with my life, to actually empower these women and enable them to become entrepreneurs, because that's what we're teaching them. We're teaching them to become entrepreneurs and have a business. So we're in business together. And I tell them that I'm not their boss, that we're in business together. We're partnering, which apparently to some is supposed to be a negative term as well, which I'll address in a later blog post and in later interviews. But we're working together to become a success. Well, I have a military retirement, which is very little to live on in Orange County, California. So I went and took a job. I am working a job because my speaking business was not producing enough income, and I'm working a job full time so I can invest into this business so these women can still be a success. I'm not really telling, I haven't told that many people about that, but it's like certainly not self-serving, because I'm not taking a salary for myself out of what we earn. I'm paying other people. I'm paying my director in Kenya, and I have a virtual assistant, and then somebody who does some website maintenance, and then other business expenses. But I keep those expenses to a minimal, and I'm very thorough with what I spend my money on, and or the money from the business on. So, but most of my paycheck goes to fund the business. So yeah, don't think that I'm trying to be a hero. I'm not, I'm only sharing that because it's not self-serving. It's not benefiting me in any way. And I'm certainly not the hero of this story. So I'm going to release a series of blog posts about that, and we're going to be talking about that more in the future. I want to, you have to look up the meaning of the term. So exploit, what exploit means is to, benefit from somebody else, like using somebody else. And there are a lot of people, if you look at the movie Poverty Inc., which I'm going to put a link to that in the second. Actually, I might put a link after this so you can look at that. Poverty is apparently a business. I didn't realize any of this. When I got involved in fair trade, I didn't know what fair trade was. I just bought some beads, brought them back to sell them when I speak. That was my kind of only intention. And like I said, God had other plans for my life with that. And so the fact that there is a, I guess, a business of poverty where people go and they get grants and they get money and they use it for themselves. There's one guy on there who disgusts me by saying, oh, poverty's been really good for me. And, he's living in the laps of luxury off the fact that he's gotten a lot of money from poverty situations. So there's a fine line with that. And you have to be, you have to take a look at your own self to see whether or not your motives are to help others or to boost yourself up. I mean, I could care less if I'm ever in anything, but because I'm the founder, I need to make sure that people know who I am and what I'm doing. So, and obviously I need to tell their stories and show pictures of them so you know who they are and who it is that we're supporting. There have been some that suggest women's empowerment is a bad term. Empowerment means authority or power given to someone to do something, or the process of becoming stronger, more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. I was empowered with the opportunity to join the military. I joined in 1980. There weren't a whole lot of women in the military then, and there was a push to get more women in the military around the time that I joined. But I had a lot of harassment, and I was passed over by things because I was a woman. But I believe that, and I'm also a member of Toastmasters, which 50 years ago was only open to men. It was that Toastmasters was developed in 1924, and 50 years ago, up until 50 years ago, women were not able to be part of Toastmasters at all. So I believe that I was empowered to kind of had the opportunity because other women pushed and said, hey, you know, we should be able to be in Toastmasters too. And there's been a lot of, with the Me Too movement and all of that, a spotlight brought on sexual harassment and disempowerment of women. So for someone to say, or anyone to think that, okay, because our phrase, our slogan is empowering women, saving children. We are empowering women, but it's been said that, oh, if you say you're empowering them, it means that they weren't empowered before. Well, not to do what they're doing now. They weren't empowered before. So having the opportunity to be empowered, I think, is a positive thing. So I think there's too much focus on terminology. We need to change these terms, and it's going to make something go away or make something different. We have to stop focusing. A lot of people just don't like the terms, and they don't even look and see what the term really means before they start complaining about it. So anyway, that's my little spiel on that. I would love for you guys to check out the blog posts coming on Monday. I'm going to be releasing a series of blog posts on Mondays for Mastery Monday regarding this topic, and in the future we'll be discussing it more. But now it looks like Leila's here, so let's get an update on what's going on in Kenya. Hey!
Hi.
How are you? It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So first I want to start out with the product of the week, which is a red bakuli.
Nice, yeah.
Bakuli is bowl in Swahili, for those of you who don't know. This is a new product that we started with another group. It's a group of men and women that make soapstone. So I just uploaded a bunch of soapstone bowls. It's a cute little bowl you can just use as a decoration, or put little paper clips or something in. And my microphone just fell down because I opened the drawer. But yeah, go to basketsandbeadskenya.com. It's also featured on the Instagram post for this morning, and check out the soapstone bowls. So he's contacting me again, Leila, saying, oh, I'm like, I'm trying to sell this stuff. Give me a break. So anyway, it's good to see you. And how are things there?
Good, things are good. I think people are getting used to the new normal now, but the virus has spread everywhere. Now in Trans Nzoia we have 2 cases. It was confirmed yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the number is rising. I think today we hit the 6,000 infected. So
yeah, I'm just praying that this disease just kind of goes by the way. We're over in the US, we're like 2.5 million cases or something like that. It's just like and we've opened back up, and I think people, there's a requirement to wear masks, but some people refuse to wear them. So that's kind of the problems we're facing here with people not wanting to wear masks. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just praying that it stops. So how are the ladies doing? They just got their I don't know if you saw my post that we raised enough money for the next round of food. So but they just got their food packs. So tell me how surprised they were.
They were very surprised because they didn't know they were getting food packs, as I told you. So I just called them, and they're like, oh, madam wants to see us. So they thought maybe I just wanted to see them because we haven't met for a long time. And they were really surprised but happy. They were really happy about the food, because I remember talking to Dorcas, and she was like, oh, madam, we are out of food, because that's the main thing. People are suffering in the slums. And then that's when I was like, good news, we have money for food packs. They were really happy, especially Akuleu. Akuleu is always happy.
I know. I was just saying how when I first came there, that meeting them, they taught me something about what it means to be happy. And she, Oh, I just love her. She's always so. There's the one part of the video that I just did where they're all dancing and Akuleo's like, she's not dancing much. She's just like, but she's smiling and she's just like, oh, I just,
Yeah.
yeah. So
She's always happy, just talking, and you're like, okay, what? Because she always speaks in Turkana, so you need translation. But she's always happy, that's the one thing that I love about them. They were really grateful, and that is going to help them. That really helps them a lot. Because I remember talking to Patricia, she was like, now you're not selling any beads, so this food is really a good thing. It's like a relief for them because they are going to have to feed their kids. They have food for the next few weeks, without worrying so much like other women. So that's a good thing. And they were really grateful, and they just said so many thank you.
yeah, that came from a lot of different people that are,
Mm-hmm.
committed to helping them. And yeah, I'm just, I saw that you guys had them social distanced around the room like it was marked off. That was good. So
Yeah.
what did you do? You had them all kind of sit so 6 feet apart or something, and they individually got their packs.
So we had, they didn't come all at once. We had like the first 15. So 15 women came first, and they all sat like separately because we were also scared. The neighbors might see people coming and call the police. So it was like, when you come, please be quiet. Just, don't walk around. Just go into the church and sit. So they came in. The good thing with them is, they are very disciplined. So they came in, they went into the church. There was the distancing, they had their mask, and things were done so quickly so that we don't attract attention. But it was really nice.
Oh, that's so good. I'm just so glad because yeah, like the one couple pictures you sent me of the markets are just empty because everything's just shut. So like the only thing that you guys are still on curfew, right? Every night.
Yes. So we are still on curfew, and also there's the cessation of movement, no going in and out of Nairobi or Mombasa. So.
Oh gosh, so people can't even
Mm-hmm.
travel around.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh man, I didn't realize that. That's significant. I,
Yeah, because moving things around is really hard now. So that. Hopefully, we're waiting. The president is supposed to address the nation on 7th of July. So we're waiting to hear, what next.
is that when your current lockdown has gone to the 7th of July?
Yeah, the 30 days is done. So we don't know if he's going to extend, or I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the fact that, like even though I'm selling here, I know that they were selling in the markets there and not being able to sell means zero income that, and here in the US, like I've said before, we have like Saddleback Church has a food pantry and they're feeding thousands of people. They go in, they get a bag of groceries. And then we have in California something called CalFresh. So if you're really low income, you can get a card where you can go get groceries. But there's nothing like that there, right? There's no food pantries and no government help.
No. No, we don't have food pantries here, or where you can go and get food. It's just special people donations, from organizations and people around. But other than that,
Yeah. Well, for
mhm.
anybody that's listening, if you want to donate, we're continuing to take donations. Go to basketsmeadskenya.org. It's tax deductible through the nonprofit. So, for my birthday, I did that fundraiser, and like you probably saw the dollar amount. We raised close to $1,000, which was what I was going for. But other people donated cash and checks, so we're well over that. So the next round of food packs will probably take them into September. So that's exciting. I'm just so grateful for people who've you know believe in what we're doing and helping. Who is that? I saw that. Who is that little pink tornado?
So could you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. You're wearing pink. See, you are the pink tornado. I miss you.
Miss you.
Yeah. How are you?
Fine.
Okay. So my Swahili word for today was bakuli, bowl.
Bakuli.
What is red? This is a red bowl. What is red in Swahili?
Red.
Nyekundu.
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 Nyekundu. Nyekundu. So bakuli nyekundu.
Yeah. Yes. Bakuli nyekundu.
I have started. I've it's been in my spirit to do this for some time. I signed up for a course called Swahili Pod. So I'm going to be doing daily Swahili lessons. I'm determined.
That's nice.
Swahili. Yeah. And
that is going to help.
Yeah. And the ladies will be like, "No, you need to speak Turkana now." I'm like, "No."
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be the next thing is Turkana.
One thing at a time. How's the little thing doing? Where's Israel? How's he doing?
Oh, he's doing good. He's sleeping. He just turned 9. He's almost crawling. He's trying, but he's scared. When he falls on his stomach, he doesn't move. He just stays there. But he's doing good.
Oh, yeah. I miss everybody there. I'm just glad to hear that you guys are okay. Is it the rains, or is it raining like crazy, or how's the weather?
It's raining, but it's the flooding has gone down, but it's still cold and rainy.
Yeah. I keep looking like, okay, let's see, when can I go? And I'm just hoping I'll get to come back this year and not have to wait till February. I'm like, I keep looking at the airfares and thinking, well, maybe I'll be able to go now. But like the European Union is talking about banning Americans because our count keeps started going back up again. So I don't know if I'll be able to go through there. Like, do I have to go through like another country to get there? So I keep looking. I want to come again this year. I'm just hoping that I'll be able to, just to see everybody and you know, because I miss you all. You're in my heart.
Yeah, we are hoping they open up. At least we see you see ladies, that will be really great.
Yeah, like so we're happily in 3 stores now, and all 3 of them, the third one's still new, so it's not got caught up yet, but the other 2, well, Fairtrade Long Beach, I moved spaces, and that's really done well for and changed the look. You probably saw online. It's really doing well, and things are selling there. I'm going back up there today to hang some pictures. And the one in Orange County, we were $1 above break even this month, so that's pretty good for just opening back up. And then the other one's not quite there yet, but we've had some online sales, so I'm just working hard to promote the products and getting, so I can buy some more from the ladies, because they're I love everything. I don't, you see I'm wearing. I'm always wearing beads.
Yeah.
This is
always. You're the bead queen.
That's it, Kenya Bead Queen. That's my nickname. So yeah, it's just, I just wanted to kind of get everybody caught up on what's going on there and what we're doing behind the scenes. So you know, I actually ordered some earrings from Bintia, and she shipped them the end of May, and I still haven't gotten them yet. So shipping's taking a long time, and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen if I want to? I guess if I shipped it through DHL, it would be different, but shipping it through the post office it's we're at you know, going on 5 weeks. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, going on 6 weeks. So post office is taking a lot longer. Oh, here's Meow Mix. Meow Mix wants to say hi.
Oh, hi.
Paca, right? Paca? Is that cat?
Yeah, Parker.
Oh, here, look. Meow Mix wants to say hi.
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 She's so enthused, as you can tell. She's like, I want to see what's going on here. Silly cat. Okay, well, I think that's you know, that's about it for today. I just wanted to catch everybody up here on the happenings there in Kenya. Glad to hear that the ladies are okay and that they you know, they all got the food packs. So one thing I wonder, how is it like, okay, so they have food, other people don't. Do they get safely back into their homes? Do they are they okay?
Yeah, because yeah, they're okay because nobody knows where they're going. Like, you know, they leave and they come back with bags. And nobody, like, so nobody knows where they're going or what they're doing. So for them, it's good. And the good thing with them is, the one thing with them is they're very strong. Like, nobody can attack them. And people know them. People know that group. So they know our group. So it's really hard for anyone to even start any problem or attack one of them, because they know it's like 30, 25 women who will, you know, get back to you.
Yeah.
So they are always safe.
Oh, that's good. You know, like I heard there was, and I've heard it secondhand. I haven't heard the recording yet, but somebody on a call was saying that the term women's empowerment, or saying you're empowering people, is a bad thing. Yeah, I don't know if you heard the first part of my talk. It's like people here in the U.S. focus in on terms, and they decide something's bad, and then they like, oh, you can't say that anymore. I'm like, okay, whatever. But we have empowered them, and like I was saying earlier, the definition of empowerment is the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. Now, what impressed me when I met them was their level of confidence and happiness to begin with. But now that they've come together as a team and as a group, they're empowered more, because like you're saying, nobody's going to mess with them because they know they're a strong group that takes care of each other and have each other's backs. So it's a positive thing for empowerment for them to come together like they have. And I'm just hoping that more women see that and decide to be a part of it.
Yeah. And like, remember Gloria's video, the one that we took the other time? She said, like, before joining the group, she couldn't walk down the street because she was so ashamed of what she was doing, that she didn't have any confidence. But now she's so proud that she can walk down the street. She can do all these things, you know, and she, like, you look at her and you can see the confidence in her. You can see the smile. You can see the joy in them. So, you know, empowerment means so many things to so many people, to different people. But for us, it's just the confidence that these women are getting, you know. They're able to stand up for themselves. Like, now I'm like, we are just there. The way you say, we are not, nobody's anybody's bosses. We are there as a group, you know. We are all equal. We are helping each other. It's business women working together. So it's not like, oh, so and so is, you know, doing this. No, it's just us women coming together and helping each other, holding each other's hand. So for us, that's what empowerment is.
Yeah, and I noticed, like, the thing I noticed every time I've come, that well, I guess it is confidence, and it's from the inside out, and you can see it in the way they stand, and the way, like, you remember the first time that we did the the tea party, and they were all sitting there like, what do we do? And then, you know, I asked if anybody wanted to share, and they said, we've never gathered like this as women before. Well, now they know they can gather together and they down on each other, and they have each other's backs, and they know if one is down, more will pick them up, which is scriptural to begin with. You know, when it's better to be together than you're stronger together. So yeah, I was just so proud to see them, you know, and they're just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just their way of being, that they've reached a level of confidence and security that they didn't have before. And, you know, they've done the work. We just kind of said, oh, let's have a group, you know, God brought us all together, and here we are. And I'm just, I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not easy. What I tell people, you know, the road to empowerment, it's not like you meet people today and tomorrow they're empowered. No, it's a process. Like for us, I remember so many times just saying, I give up, you know, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just tired. I'm tired, because it's a process and you have to be patient. And, you know, it was, you know, every time I remember just telling Dorcas, I'm done with the women, you know, if they can't do this. But eventually they see the benefit of it, you know, and they're like, okay, this thing is working. This thing, I can actually stand on my own 2 feet, because most of us are scared of just, you know, standing on our own feet. So once they realize they can actually feed their family, they can do all these things. And now we're just enjoying, you know, and just laughing together as women. So
Yeah, which
it's
is
a
great.
process.
And I look forward to being able to laugh and dance again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I look at that video and I said, it makes me smile when we're all like going around and dancing in a circle, and you know, it's like, oh, I miss that so much, you know. It's like I'm not gonna say I can't wait, you know, because it's like all in God's time, but I know He'll have me back there soon enough. So yeah. All right, I guess we'll end it for today. We could go on forever, but I love you, and I miss you, and I can't, and I love that little pink tornado too. And so nakupenda, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, bye. Miss you. Nakupenda. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Bye.